Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this is going to be a Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you are having a fantastic start to your week. We've got a big one here. We have got the update 6.40 highlights being officially posted by Plarium, hot off the press about an hour and a half ago, so I'll go through that with you and react to it. We've got an epic trolling moment in there, which is going to be hilarious or sad, depending on you and your account. And then we've also got the 10x events for CVC and Plarium releasing like a community-made mastery cheat sheet, and I will get you all caught up on the stuff going on with 6.40 and everything happening in game as we head into the middle of the week. So let's get into it. Alrighty, now first of all, if you want this mastery cheat sheet that AOD random guy made within the community, and then Plarium gave them a shout out and released it as an announcement because it's a nice clean little mastery cheat sheet to help you kind of discern what each mastery does instead of just the name of it. Like when people hear Eagle Eye, which is down here on the far bottom right. When people hear Eagle Eye, if you're a new player, you probably have no clue what Eagle Eye means. Well, then now this shows you instead of calling it Eagle Eye, they put plus accuracy. So head on over to the main Raid Shadow Legends server, but I'll also try to get this posted on our Discord and all that kind of stuff to make sure you have this mastery cheat sheet. And then also right now is going to be our first clan versus clan of the year, and it is going to have personal rewards. You can see the tab right here, so it's going to be an important CVC to focus on as long as you've got a realistic chance to win. And we're going to be starting out with the potion keep objectives and minotaur objectives as the 2x for most of us yesterday. A lot of you did a good job letting me know in the comment section that these 2x events that are boosted are the same for most clans out there, so a good opportunity to focus on that and try to do as good as you can in this CVC that has personal rewards. Also, the 10x events that are going to be going on around the CVC is going to be for these two champions right here. Today on Tuesday, January 3rd, there is going to be a boosted up chance to get Wither the Crowned from Ancients and Sacreds. And then tomorrow for day 2 of CVC on Wednesday, we are going to be getting a boosted up chance for Tremeria out of Void Shard. So now I'll give you my quick thoughts on these two champions. For Wither the Crowned, she is a really solid support. She's got lots of heals and a defense up and can really help some of those tanky teams with even a cleanse. So you'll see her very commonly in some of those really tanky, annoying arena defenses that are designed to just stay alive forever. Wither will be featured as a champion in those a lot of times. So very generally useful support for Hydra and arena tanky teams and faction wars, and definitely a very solid champion. Then for day 2, the champion featured Tremeria. I haven't had a lot of first-person experience with testing Tremeria. I did do a collab with Ash, who runs Ash Raid Shadow Legends, and he does have some experience with Tremeria and was telling me that he was underwhelmed, even though he thought when he first summoned her that she was going to be very impactful. So, a champion that looks really good on paper. I like the AoE super reliable stun, and I like the AoE speed down on the A1, and lots of kind of generally one of the best auras in the game. So lots of good stuff going here on paper. Right now on our Void Legendary tier list, we can pull this up right here, and you will see that I have Tremeria right here. So kind of shading towards the upper half of Void Legendaries. We do adjust these every couple days to try and stay as accurate as we can based on the feedback we're getting, and it looks like right now it's kind of where we have Tremeria ranked, but it does sound like a very good champion on paper with a pretty interesting kit. But you know the drill with these CVC 10Xs. You're probably not going to be YOLOing a bunch of shards during them because it doesn't coincide with a 2X, and it doesn't coincide with some sort of champion chase or summon rush that you need to be participating in to finish a fusion like we just had for knee shock or anything. So really, for most of you out there, you're probably not going to be YOLOing a bunch of shards. But for those of you that are, I do think Wither the Crowned and Tremeria are two interesting champions to add to your account for what it's worth. And then the big news of the day is we've got the update update 6.40 highlights coming out here from Plarium, featuring a 4th anniversary event and a little bit of quality of life adjustments and also some champion rebalance. So I'm going to go through and read over this really quick with you. I will also link to the full post down below if you want to pull this up on your end. So first up, they talk about the 4th anniversary Titan event, and let's see. So will encompass several elements, heroes, path events, tournaments, and a few of your garden variety game events to boot. Participating in these activities will earn you anniversary points, though their overall number is limited, and you'll need to keep an eye to see exactly when and how you can increase your score. In turn, these points will let you claim rewards from the Titan event interface, thus giving you more shiny stuff and doing the same amount of heroic legwork in raid. Those rewards include various resources, random chests. We'll discuss these in a separate, new unique player avatars, and even resources you'll need for Champion Awakening. It should be a fairly straightforward experience, but we will, okay, cool. So they're going to be having a series of events around their 4th anniversary. It's actually coming up pretty soon here on 4 years since I have personally been playing the game. I started in March of 2019. So in March of 2023, here in a couple months, it'll be 4 years for me as well. So yeah, basically they're going to be having an event centered around that where you can get a chest and kind of random loot and avatars to kind of go along with participating in that event. But it also looks like they're going to be introducing a Plarium points program. New feature will be available across all platforms. That's good to have it on both like mobile and PC, especially useful to raiders who favor the PlariumPlay. That is the PC client to access Raid and Plarium's other games by earning a new type of resource called Plarium points in various game activities, the Heroes Path events, Deck of Fate events, tournaments, and all that sort of stuff, claiming from playtime rewards and okay, cool. So you can get the Plarium points from simply like playing the normal game as well, or getting them along in-game purchases. There you go. That's probably the real incentive, as they're trying to create like a VIP program. You see a lot of these games do. To access the Plarium points program tab, you will just open the game menu in the left-hand side of your Bastion screen and tap the icon. That will take you to the new tab where all of your hard-earned Plarium points will unlock various goodies. First, you'll see special cards, the most important rewards in the Plarium points program. These include a powerful champion, artifacts and accessories more suitable for them, and resources to awaken that champion. On top of that, you can get a unique avatar and furthermore a progress bar, multiple reward. Okay, so could be a good thing to add to the game. Again, you know, as always with this kind of stuff, we have to see it live. We have to see how it actually gets implemented. But this could be a net positive as long as it is done properly. Then there is also some quality of life changes. There are 2 minor but rather convenient quality of life upgrades to look forward to as well. First, you'll be able to shuffle your team directly on the Tag Arena Battle selection screen. Needless to say, it would be a lot faster having to manually swap each champion out. Yeah, so it's always been a little bit weird trying to interact with the Tag Team Arena screen, so looks like they're going to be making that a little bit more intuitive. And then secondly, you will get to end an ongoing multi-battle right in the middle of it. Yeah, that's also been a little bit of a weird mechanic as well. You have to kind of like wait until the stage ends and then like hit this window where you can click stop multi-battle and all that. So it looks like that is going to be ceasing to exist, and you'll be able to do that whenever you would like to stop the multi-battle process. And then also we've got some very interesting choices here for champion rebalance. So, okay, we are going to be getting a rebalance coming through for Killian the Lucky. We'll talk about why that's funny here in a second. Tila Gormain, I'm definitely on board with this one. Tila is one of probably the 10 worst legendaries in the game. Vergamkar is probably one of the worst, like 10 or 15 legendaries in the game. So pretty good choices here. But the one for Killian is interesting. And the reason is Plarium just did a event featuring this new legendary Rhonda that everybody added to their account recently, who was already playing Raid, and she's still going to be available for a little bit for new players that come into Raid. But so they made her empowerment champion Killian, and then so all these people that got Rhonda within the last couple weeks, if they had an extra Killian or 2 laying around, they fed it in to empower Rhonda, because Rhonda is a pretty interesting damage dealer that's fun to have pretty strong on your account. So we had a lot of the player base feeding Killian into Rhonda, and then what do? A week later, they come through and they buff Killian after getting everybody to kind of feed him into a champion. Now, all of a sudden, let's go ahead and make him stronger right after that. So You know, very interesting how that ends up working out, huh? But like beside the Ronda thing, I do think he was one of the top 25-ish legendaries in need of a rebalance, because he's a champion that doesn't really get used a whole lot outside of being like a niche damage dealer in Faction Wars or something. But now let's zoom in on this a little bit, and let's talk about how impactful or not impactful these balance changes are. So the A2 is going to be going from a single hitter to an attack all enemies with an 85% chance. I bet you can book that up to 100. And we look over here, you can book that up to a 100% chance of blocking active skills for 2 turns. And it looks like it's going to book to a 4-turn cooldown. That is going to be a godly ability for any sort of wave content. So Killian's going to be pretty S tier now for Bannerlord's Faction Wars for sure. A 2-turn active skill block on the AoE A2, going to be incredible. Then the A3 is also getting a buff. It is going to be not only the super reliable stun, but also going to be stealing 50% of the target's current turn meter, and then resets its cooldown if it gets a kill. So going to really be able to snowball again versus wave type content. And then we've also got the passive, place 2 of the following buffs on this champion at the start of every turn: increase attack, increase crit damage, increase crit rate, strengthen block damage, and increase accuracy to help land those stuns. So definitely really solid changes for Killian. I don't think it's going to be like bringing him into the Platinum Arena meta or anything, but very welcome changes that are going to make him a lot stronger. Then we've got Tila Gormain. Now, you only see 2 abilities here. It's because they're only listing the ones that get changed. Tila has an A1 default, obviously, and then she also has an aura, but the A1 and the aura are not listed here on this chart because they are not being adjusted. So, first of all, for the Pyre Strike, this is going to be her A2. This is going to be changing to an AoE with a very reliable HP burn, 100% for 2 turns, and it books to, I think, a 3-turn cooldown. Yeah, it looks like it. And if I remember right, there's no books required for this event. That's why it's a little bit confusing. But yeah, it's just 3 turns. Yeah, so there is no books required for this. So that's pretty cool. It's an AoE HP burn. And so 2 also plays continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns. So going to be a really cool option for the Spider, and AoE HP burn is actually a little bit more rare than you would think. So that is very cool to have on a 3-turn cooldown without even needing to book the cooldown or anything. Then we have another AoE right here, and it's going to be a 100% chance of increasing the duration of all HP burn debuffs on all enemies, and then also an 85% chance of placing a leech debuff. So Tila has always, that's kind of been her utility, like at least she does an AoE leech, and then she also did the heal reduction as well. But okay, this is a good change to Tila. Again, I don't think it's going to bring her into the Platinum Arena meta or anything, or make her a top 5 Lego, but this is a very cool change, and it will actually make Tila usable as an AoE burner that is very reliable with the 3-turn cooldown, and then also doing the leech and hex as well. We don't have enough champions that do hex, so with Tila getting that, it's definitely going to make her a lot stronger than she was before. And then the last balance change for this particular update is going to be one of the most forgotten champions in Raid, in Vergamkar. I don't even remember the last time I heard someone talk about Vergamkar. He just never gets discussed or brought up or really used anywhere. So hopefully, I'm going to be reacting to this live here. I haven't seen the Vergamkar ones yet. So we've got remove all provoke. And a random debuff from all allies. Okay, that didn't really change. Place increased defense. So what did change here? We've got the increased defense on all allies. Okay, good. So it removed a qualifier. That's good. So now it's just going to place increased defense on all allies for 2 turns, and then also place a shield 20% of this champion's max HP, and it books to a 3-turn cooldown. That's good. Removes all provoke, and a random debuff. So you get the cleanse and the guaranteed removal of provoke. Increased defense and a shield. Okay, so it looks like, they make it a little bit weird. They highlight the whole thing instead of just the part that changed. But basically, he used to only place the increased defense for 2 turns on allies who had a debuff removed. Now there is no qualifier. It's just place increased defense on all allies for 2 turns. That's a really good change. It'll make him a lot more reliable. Then we've got this A3 that is going to be remove 1 random buff from each enemy. That didn't really get changed. Heal reduction and decreased defense, who have 2 buffs removed. So it looks like we're just removing the qualifiers. We're just helping him. Be a lot more reliable, but this didn't really change. It is still defense down and heal reduction. Removing 2 random buffs, removing 2 random buffs. Okay, so yeah, he will be better, and he will be at least usable now, and I'm sure he'll see a little bit of play, but again, I don't think this like slots him up into some god tier legendary or something, but he will be a lot more consistent because his kit will also book both abilities to a 3-turn cooldown, because you can see the 2 books right here and the 1 book right here to go from 4 to 3 and to go from 5 to 3. So he is going to be a pretty fun, like, anti-provoke, defense up, shield or tank that has a pretty reliable rotation on his skills here. So all in all, I think pretty solid balance changes. I would like to see more champions. I'd like to see a list of like 6 or 7 legendaries that really never get talked about or never get discussed, never get used. I would like to see some of them get adjusted a little bit like we saw here with these ones. I'm mostly on board with these. I think they were pretty good changes. Let me know what you think down below about Killian being buffed 1 week after we had so many people in the community feeding their Killians into Ronda. I think that is going to be a hot topic in the community this week. Then for the stuff going on in game, there really isn't a whole lot for tournaments and events. This is all mostly normal stuff. Like, it's going to be a little bit of a lull until we know what the next fusion is, and we can start kind of planning accordingly. All the stuff is mostly normal. Artifact cleansing has been a hot topic recently, especially with Plarium doing their like free to move around event last weekend. So there's been a lot of conversation around this. I want to make sure a lot of you know that artifact enhancement events are a really good opportunity to upgrade a lot of the artifacts on your account, at least to level 8. Like just go through your most popular sets and upgrade stuff to level 8, because once you get towards the end of the mid game and into the end game, you are going to need to know how your artifacts roll to be able to sell them. You're going to need to see, like, oh, where am I hitting double speed? Where am I hitting double accuracy on amulets? You're going to need to know these things, and you can't know it. Like, once you get to a certain point of gear, you just don't know if you're keeping something once it gets past like the trash threshold. Like, okay, it's not like a flat stat boots. Once you get past like the trash threshold, you need to know how they roll. So use artifact enhancement events to kind of slowly, you're not going to do this overnight, and that's okay. Use it as an opportunity to slowly kind of work your point, work your account towards that point to make it a lot easier for you to manage your artifacts and know what is good and what is trash. Today is also the first day to claim your clan quests, so make sure you dive in, go through the basic, expert, and elite chests, and or quests, sorry, and make sure that you are claiming those. Now let's go over the shop here. Is there anything really worth talking about? A silver pack stream, that's for the artifact enhancement event, but it's not that great. The 100% mini mix packs are a done deal, it looks like. So okay, we are back to really nothing worth noting in the shop. This is all pretty standard stuff, and there isn't anything super new or super worth shouting out in terms of being a really solid offer compared to what we usually see. So there we have it. Good luck in your CVC matches and everything. I'm going to head on over to the live section of this channel, and I'm going to be live streaming for a few hours, hanging out with you, talking about these patch changes and doing the CVC grind and getting our daily raid stuff done. So remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content, and if you want to head on over to the live section of this channel, pop in and say hi for a little bit. Would love to see you. But otherwise, as always, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you soon in the next video. Peace.